The 2002 race for me, obviously my first Grand Prix. The car shouldn't have got to the end, but it did. We got points, old school points, so top 5, 2 points. So that was, clearly an absolute ginormous moment in my Formula One career. Obviously a short career at that point, my first race.
Paul Stoddart starting the career of Mark Webber was a special moment in Australian Grand Prix history.
The battle with Mick Asala was pretty intense because there was a lot of radiator coolant in the first sector, so turn 1 all the way down to turn 3, and I thought, well, if I stay to the inside in turn 3, it's going to be difficult for him.
My team actually told me it's the last lap, so I had to try pass him, and it was still 2 laps to go. I didn't know that, and I had to try outside and I spun.
Got on the radiator coolant, which was super, super slippery, and he spun the car, and once I knew he did that, then I could really look after the car and just finish those last few laps. The crowd just went ballistic, obviously. It was a huge crowd that day. The place was just going off, and then they come to me and said, we'd like you to take you to the podium. I said, I'm not going to go to the podium. I didn't finish in the top 3. They're like, no, Ron's keen to get you up there. And I'm like, not too sure about this. Anyway, we got up there, and obviously the crowd went ballistic.
Just goes down in Australian Grand Prix folklore that there was a second podium, and it had Mark Webber, Paul Stoddart and the Aussie flag on it. I think there was a boxing kangaroo there as well.
I think it was a bit of a message to a lot of Australians who have been so patient with sort of following Formula One at the time, and it was nice for them to be able to support the local driver, and it was certainly a big day.
Jenson Button's win in 2010. He was the defending champion, first to go onto the slick tyres, and one of the few men to win a Grand Prix after going into the gravel and looking like he was Bambi on ice for about a lap and a half, and then actually going on to stand on the top step of the podium.
2014 was just a sensational day for Daniel Ricciardo, coming second before getting docked of the points, if you like. We did see him up on that podium, and we did see him celebrating, but then the stewards took it away from him. So it was bittersweet, but it is what it is. I tell you what, we want to see him up there in future years, and I hope that day happens.
It's quite unusual for a driver to be disqualified after a race result while you're still at the track. There's probably 100 people there, basically fighting in a scrum to get that news. So yeah, there was a definite sense of drama.
Jenson Button and Sebastian Vettel have won at the iconic Albert Park Grand Prix circuit on 3 occasions, although for Jenson, his first few races here were not as successful. Kimi Räikkönen and Lewis Hamilton have also enjoyed multiple victories in Melbourne, the pair recording both of their Australian triumphs with different teams.
Another recent favourite was actually 2019, when Valtteri Bottas came back from what was a disappointing year the year before, but he came back, he had a little beard, he thought about himself over the winter, and he came back and won the Grand Prix. So I loved seeing Bottas actually start off the year on the front foot.
We really have seen so many magical moments over the previous 25 years, and we just can't wait to see what the next chapter has in store.